Hi there, listeners. Before we begin, please make sure you have a notebook or a piece of lined paper and a pencil ready on your desk. You are about to listen to a summary of the book The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas by John Boyne. Please listen very carefully as you go because you will need to write down the answers to some of the questions at the end of the story. I have a challenge for you. Try to finish the summary and write all of your answers on your paper before you check them in the video description to see if you are correct. This is a great way to practice your listening and thinking skills. I hope you enjoy the summary. Good luck. Bruno is a 9-year-old boy living in a big house in Berlin. He loves his life and his 3 best friends. However, one day, his father, who has a very important job in the German army, says the family must move. Bruno feels like this is a major L because he has to leave everything he loves for a place called Outwith. The new house is lonely and gray. When Bruno looks out his window, he sees a very long wire fence, and behind it, there are hundreds of people, all wearing striped pajamas and matching caps. Bruno is confused. He asks his sister Gretel who they are, and she tells him they aren't real people, which is very unkind and wrong. Bruno gets bored and decides to go on a side quest to explore. He walks along the fence for a long time, and even though he's told not to, his curiosity wins. Finally, he sees a small figure in the distance. It is a boy his own age, named Shmuel. Shmuel looks very sad, thin, and tired. Bruno and Shmuel start talking every day. They discover they have the same birthday, and it's a total twin moment. Even though the fence is between them, they become besties. Bruno begins to realize that, although he has plenty of food, Shmuel is always hungry. Bruno tries to bring him bread and snacks whenever he can. One day, Shmuel is brought to Bruno's house to clean small glasses. Bruno gives him some chicken. When a mean soldier catches them, Bruno gets very scared. He caps and says he doesn't know Shmuel. This makes Bruno feel like a fake friend. Later, he tells Shmuel he is so sorry, and Shmuel, being a real one, forgives him. Over time, the vibes at the house get worse. Bruno's mother realizes that living next to such a sad place is wrong. So she decides it's time for the children to move back to Berlin. Of course, Bruno is sad because he doesn't want to leave his day one friend, Shmuel, behind. Shmuel tells Bruno that his father has gone ghost. To help his friend, Bruno decides on one last mission. Shmuel brings an extra set of striped clothes, and Bruno crawls under the fence to help search. Once inside, Bruno sees that the camp is not a happy place at all. It is full of suffering. The fence was like a giant iron curtain that cut the world in half, keeping the light on one side and the shadows on the other. Suddenly, the soldiers force a large group of people to march into a dark room. Bruno is terrified, but he holds Shmuel's hand and tells him, "You are my best friend for life." The story ends sadly as they are never seen again. Bruno's father eventually realizes the terrible mistake he made by being part of such a hateful system. The book teaches us that gatekeeping, kindness, and hating others leads to tragedy for everyone. Question 1. What specific reason did Bruno's dad give for moving the family away from their massive, preppy house in Berlin to Outwith? Question 2. How did Bruno and Shmuel realize they were twins during their very first conversation by the fence? Question 3. What did Shmuel bring to the fence for their final mega quest together? Question 4. Gretel says that people behind the fence aren't real people. We know this is deeply hurtful and wrong. What can we understand from this statement about the unfair beliefs and rules that adults were teaching children in Germany at that time? Question 5. The scary soldier catches them in the kitchen. Why would a real one like Bruno cap and lie about knowing his best friend Shmuel? Question 6. The summary says the fence was like a giant iron curtain that cut the world in half. What type of figurative language is this? And why is this better than just saying there was a fence in the way? Think about the aura it creates.